The sky over the barren planet was a strange, dusty orange. Winds swept across the rocky plains, carrying tiny particles that stung the skin. Mira, a young human explorer, adjusted her helmet and scanned the horizon with her visor. She had landed on this planet only a few hours ago, following a signal that had been detected deep in the wilderness. It was faint, almost like a whisper in the void, but it had intelligence behind it. Mira had been trained to respond to unknown signals. Her mission was simple: locate, observe, and report. But something inside her told her this would not be a routine assignment. As she climbed a small ridge, her visor picked up a flash of silver light in the distance. Her heart raced. There, half buried in the reddish dirt, was a crashed alien ship. Its shape was unlike anything she had seen. Smooth, organic curves intertwined with angular metallic panels. Smoke rose from a small breach in its hull. Mira crouched behind a jagged rock, studying the ship. She noticed movement inside. Something, or someone, was alive. "Hello?" she called softly, unsure if the creature could understand her. The wind carried her voice away almost immediately, but she hoped it had been heard. A hatch opened with a hiss, and out stumbled a figure. At first, Mira thought it was human, but the shape was taller, more delicate, with limbs that seemed too long for its body. Its skin shimmered faintly, like polished metal under sunlight, but soft and natural. Mira could see pain in the way it moved, dragging one arm as if it were injured. The alien's eyes were large and round, glowing faintly with a soft golden hue. Despite its obvious weakness, there was intelligence and strength in those eyes. Mira felt a strange mix of fear and awe. She had never seen a being like this. Before Mira could step forward, the sound of engines roared from above. She ducked behind her rock as human authorities arrived in armored transport ships. Soldiers poured out, their weapons raised. They were dressed in dark suits prepared for combat. "Mira, step back!" a commanding voice shouted through a loudspeaker. Mira hesitated. The humans were from the Colonial Security Division, and their reputation for taking extreme measures was well known. The alien, now noticing the soldiers, froze. It tried to retreat toward the ship, but the uneven terrain slowed it down. The humans moved quickly. A soldier shot a net across its body, and with a sharp hiss, the alien was caught. "No!" Mira shouted, running toward them, but a hand on her shoulder stopped her. "Wait," said another officer. "Let it happen. It's dangerous." The alien struggled against the net, letting out a series of high-pitched sounds. Mira could swear they were not just noises. They were words, emotions, maybe even a plea. The creature's eyes locked on Mira's, and she felt a pull in her chest. A silent cry for help she could not ignore. They dragged the alien to a cliffside, chains clinking as they secured it to jagged rocks. Mira's stomach twisted. The being was small against the harsh environment, and the wind whipped around it, making the chains cut deeper into its delicate skin. "Why are we doing this?" Mira whispered to herself. "It hasn't attacked anyone. It's just hurt." The commanding officer turned, giving her a hard look. "Orders are orders, Mira. We can't take chances. We don't know what it is capable of." Mira clenched her fists. She wanted to argue, to fight for the alien, but she knew it would be useless. The humans had made up their minds. The alien looked at her again, its eyes pleading. It didn't scream or lash out. It simply waited, as if knowing something Mira did not. As the soldiers set up a temporary camp nearby, Mira stayed hidden behind a rock, watching. The wind carried small, dark shapes toward the cliff, native birds of the planet, shaped like ravens but larger and sharper, circling in the sky. They seemed drawn to the alien, cawing loudly as if sensing its presence. Mira shivered. The alien's eyes followed the birds, calm and unafraid. She noticed a faint glow radiating from its skin, soft and warm. The The bird suddenly stopped, hovering uncertainly in the air, confused. Mira blinked. Could the alien control them? Or was it something else entirely? Night began to fall, and the temperature dropped sharply. Mira could see the alien shivering in the chains, and a pang of guilt tore at her. She wanted to go to it, to comfort it, but she stayed hidden. Even from afar, she felt a strange connection, something stronger than curiosity or empathy. It was a sense of responsibility. The cliff loomed above a deep canyon. Any fall would mean certain death. Yet the alien did not panic. It remained still, watching the horizon, breathing slowly despite the pain. Mira felt a strange admiration. This creature, though chained and wounded, showed strength beyond human understanding. Hours passed. Mira watched silently, making mental notes of its appearance, behavior, and the strange energy that seemed to pulse from its body. She realized that if the humans forced this alien into a lab or research station, they might never understand it. Or worse, they might destroy it. Her mind raced. How could she protect it? How could she show the humans that this alien was not a threat? Mira did not have answers, but she knew one thing for certain. She could not abandon it. As the first stars appeared in the orange sky, Mira whispered to the alien, "I'm here. I won't let them hurt you more than they have to." The alien's eyes seemed to soften. A faint, almost imperceptible glow ran along its body. Mira didn't know if it understood her words, but she felt a spark of hope. Somehow, she knew this was only the beginning of something much larger, something that could change not only her life, but the future of humans and aliens alike. The wind howled across the cliff, and the dark silhouettes of the raven-like birds circled closer. The alien did not struggle, did not fear. Mira stared at it, wondering what secrets it held, what powers it had, and how she could protect it from a world that was not ready to understand. And in that quiet moment, as the night crept over the barren planet, Mira made a silent vow. She would not let this alien suffer alone. The wind howled fiercely across the cliff, carrying the faint scent of dust and metal. Mira crouched behind her rock, watching as the alien, Ayla, she had silently decided to call her, remained chained to the jagged stones. The fading sunlight glinted off Ayla's shimmering skin, making her look fragile yet strange and beautiful. Mira's heart ached. She hated seeing Ayla like this, bound and helpless. The human soldiers had left their temporary camp below, confident that the chains and cliffs would hold the alien. But nature had other plans. High above, dark shapes appeared against the orange sky, large birds, unlike any Mira had ever seen. They resembled Earth's ravens, but were far bigger, with wings that spanned nearly 4 meters. Their eyes glinted with intelligence, and their black feathers shimmered like polished obsidian. Mira's stomach twisted. "Oh no, not them," she whispered. She had read about the planet's wildlife before coming, but nothing had prepared her for this. The birds circled, cawing loudly, their sharp talons glinting in the fading light. Ayla looked up at the birds calmly. She did not flinch. She did not try to move. Her golden eyes followed their flight, and Mira noticed something strange. A faint glow ran along Ayla's arms, as if her skin itself responded to the creatures. The ravens swooped closer, their talons slicing the air. They cawed angrily, eyes fixed on Ayla. Mira's heart pounded. They'll tear her apart, she thought, panic rising. She wanted to run, to climb the cliff and pull the alien free, but the soldiers had left, and Mira was unarmed. Suddenly, the ravens paused mid-air, their wings stiffening. They hovered uncertainly, as if something invisible held them back. Mira blinked. Was it Ayla? She had never seen anything like it. Ayla's eyes glowed brighter. A soft pulse ran along her body, shimmering like sunlight on water. Mira realized, with a jolt, that the alien was not afraid. Somehow she was controlling the ravens, or at least communicating with them. The birds backed away slowly, tilting in the air as if trying to understand this strange being. Mira could hardly believe what she was seeing. "It's incredible," she whispered. Even from a distance, she felt a power and intelligence emanating from Ayla that no human weapon could match. For several tense minutes, the ravens hovered, hesitant. Then, with a sudden flurry, they veered away, circling high above and watching, but no longer attacking. Ayla's chains clinked as she shifted slightly, as if acknowledging their presence. Mira's relief was immense, but it was short-lived. From below, the human soldiers' voices rang out. "Stay put! Don't let her escape!" one shouted. Another fired a flare to signal her location. The noise startled the ravens, making them scatter into the sky in a black cloud. Ayla flinched, but did not panic. Mira could see her chest rise and fall in slow, deliberate breaths. The alien's resilience amazed her. Despite chains, pain, and threats, Ayla remained calm, collected, and aware. Mira knew then that this was no ordinary creature. Ayla was intelligent, strong, and courageous, and she needed help. Night fell quickly on the barren planet, bringing with it an eerie silence. Mira stayed hidden, watching as the stars reflected off Ayla's glowing skin. The chains cut into her delicate arms, and Mira felt a burning guilt. She couldn't just watch. She had to do something. But before she could move, a faint rustle came from the cliffs behind her. Shadows moved across the rocks, more of the raven-like creatures. They circled closer, but Ayla did not panic. Mira noticed something new. The alien lifted her head, her eyes flashing with golden light, and the birds halted again. Mira's mind raced. She's controlling them, or communicating somehow. She had heard legends of psychic aliens, but never believed them. Now she saw it firsthand. Ayla's glow intensified, pulsing like a heartbeat, and the ravens froze in midair. One even tilted its head, as if listening. Mira felt a shiver run down her spine. She had never seen power like this in any human, and certainly not in someone or something so fragile. It was awe-inspiring and terrifying at the same time. Hours passed. The ravens eventually left, returning to distant cliffs, but the tension did not fade. Mira realized the humans were planning to return at first light to move Ayla to the research station. Chains and cliffs would not hold her for long. Mira's mind raced. How could she protect Ayla? She was unarmed, alone, and inexperienced in combat. Yet looking at the alien, she felt a strange courage growing inside her. Ayla's calm strength inspired her. If this alien could face the ravens and the cliffs without fear, Mira could face the humans. She took a deep breath and whispered, "I'll help you, somehow." The words felt small, but meaningful. Ayla's eyes seemed to acknowledge her, glowing, softly in response. Mira could not tell if it understood her, but she felt a connection growing between them, a silent bond forged in fear, trust, and hope. Suddenly, a low growl echoed across the cliffs. Mira froze. From the canyon below, a pack of native predators emerged. Wolf-like creatures, their fur dark and sleek, eyes glowing in the moonlight. They moved with calculated precision, circling the cliff where Ayla was chained. Mira's heart raced. If the humans didn't notice, these creatures could attack. But Ayla did not flinch. She lifted her head, golden light flashing across her body. The predators halted, growling, confused by the sudden energy that radiated from the alien. Mira realized that Ayla's power was not just about defense. It was about control and understanding. She could influence the world around her in subtle, powerful ways. The alien was no ordinary creature. She was something far beyond human imagination. Hours turned into night, and the cliff fell silent again. The humans had left, the predators gone, and even the ravens had retreated. Mira stayed hidden, exhausted but determined. She had seen enough to know that Ayla deserved more than chains and fear. Mira made a silent vow. She would find a way to help her, to protect her, even if it meant defying the humans. She had never felt such a strong sense of purpose. This alien, chained and wounded, had shown her courage, intelligence, and a kind of power that demanded respect. As she watched Ayla under the moonlight, Mira whispered again, "Tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll find a way." Ayla's eyes glowed, softly, almost like a promise. Mira did not understand fully what it meant, but she knew one thing. Their journey had only just begun. The barren cliffs, the circling ravens, and the distant canyon all seemed to fade away as Mira stared at the glowing alien. For the first time since landing on this strange world, she felt a spark of hope. A hope that courage, compassion, and understanding could overcome fear and cruelty. And in that quiet night, the bond between human and alien began. A bond that would change both their lives and perhaps the fate of the planet itself. The night on the barren planet was cold and still. Mira stayed hidden behind a jagged rock, watching Ayla chained to the cliff. The alien's soft golden glow illuminated the dark stone, creating a strange, peaceful light in the desolate landscape. Mira's heart ached as she saw Ayla's injuries, the cuts and bruises from the fall and the earlier struggle. She could not stop thinking about the alien. There was something about her calm strength, her quiet patience, and the way she had stopped the ravens that made Mira feel a connection she could not explain. She knew she had to do something, even if it was dangerous. By the faint moonlight, Mira approached carefully, keeping low and silent. Every step on the rocky surface threatened to betray her presence. She whispered, "I won't let them hurt you more. I promise." Ayla's eyes flicked toward her, glowing softly, but she did not struggle. Mira froze for a moment, unsure if Ayla understood her. Then she placed a small container of water and rations she had brought from her ship nearby. Ayla's gaze shifted to the food, and then slowly, she moved her hands against the chains. Mira held her breath. She did not know if Ayla could free herself or if the humans would return at any moment. Slowly, Ayla lifted her hand, a gesture that seemed almost like a wave, and Mira felt a spark of hope. The alien was not afraid. She was communicating, somehow, without words. Over the next few hours, Mira watched Ayla carefully. She noticed the alien observing everything, the rocks, the cliffs, the stars above. Every movement was deliberate, every glance thoughtful. Ayla's intelligence shone through in the smallest details. When Mira spoke softly to her, she noticed that Ayla tilted her head, focusing on her voice. It was clear that this was more than a simple creature. Ayla was aware, curious, and perhaps even capable of understanding human emotion. Mira decided to try a risky experiment. She spoke slowly. "I want to help you. I don't want to hurt you. Can you understand me?" Ayla's glow pulsed gently. She raised a hand and pointed toward Mira's chest. Then, in a soft, almost musical sound, she made a noise that seemed like a question. Mira smiled, realizing that Ayla was trying to communicate. For the first time, Mira felt a bond forming between them, a silent understanding that transcended words. She crouched closer, careful not to startle the alien, and whispered, "I won't leave you. I'll find a way to get you out of these chains." The alien tilted her head, glowing brighter. Mira could almost feel her gratitude, even though no words were spoken. The connection was quiet, but real, like two minds acknowledging each other's presence and intentions. Hours passed, and Mira remained hidden nearby, observing. She learned that Ayla was intelligent, capable of problem-solving, and aware of her surroundings in ways that humans could not easily understand. The alien noticed the faintest movements, the slightest sounds. She reacted to threats and potential, dangers with calm precision, never panic, only observation. As dawn approached, Mira realized the humans would likely return soon. She had to leave before they noticed her presence. Reluctantly, she backed away, keeping her eyes on Ayla. "I'll come back," she whispered. "I promise." Ayla's eyes followed her until she disappeared behind the rocks. Then, slowly, she shifted her weight, testing the chains, flexing her hands and fingers. Mira watched from afar, heart racing. She could see the alien's determination. Ayla would not give up, and Mira knew that together they could find a way out of this situation. That morning, the humans returned, dragging equipment and preparing to move Ayla. Mira watched from a distance, trying to remain hidden. She could see that Ayla had healed slightly overnight, her strength returning. Her glow was faint but steady. The humans did not notice Mira, but they noticed the alien's calm demeanor. "She's strange," one soldier muttered. "I've never seen anything like her." Mira clenched her fists. Strange or not, Ayla deserved more than chains and fear. She waited until the soldiers left to prepare their next move, then carefully made her way back to the cliff at night. This time, she brought a small tool she had hidden in her ship, a device that could unlock the chains if used carefully. Mira approached Ayla quietly. "I brought something," she whispered. "It might help." Ayla's eyes glowed in acknowledgement. Mira worked slowly, knowing that one wrong move could trigger an alarm or cause the chains to tighten. The alien remained calm, watching her every move as if trusting her completely. After several tense minutes, Mira managed to loosen the chains. She stepped back, hands trembling, and whispered, "Try to move." Ayla slowly lifted her hands, testing her freedom. The chains slipped away from her wrists with ease. She stretched slightly, flexing her fingers, and then turned to Mira, her glow pulsing softly in what Mira interpreted as joy. Mira laughed quietly, tears in her eyes. "You're free, at least for now." Ayla made a soft sound, like a chime or a song. Mira felt her heart swell. The alien was expressing gratitude in her own way, a way beyond human words. For the next few hours, Mira and Ayla remained hidden on the cliff, sharing the silence. Mira talked softly about Earth, about her training, and about the humans who did not yet understand aliens like Ayla. Ayla listened, her glowing eyes focused on Mira, sometimes tilting her head or pulsing with light in response. Through the night, Mira realized something important. This was more than a mission. This was about trust, respect, and understanding. She had been sent to observe, but now she was learning not just about Ayla, but about herself. Courage was not only about facing danger, it was about choosing to do what was right, even when others would not. By dawn, Mira had made a decision. She could not leave Ayla chained and at the mercy of humans who feared her. She needed a plan, a way to move Ayla somewhere safe, somewhere the soldiers could not reach. Ayla seemed to understand. Her glow pulsed steadily, a quiet reassurance. Mira felt a spark of hope. Together, they could escape, survive, and perhaps even show the humans that fear and cruelty were not the only options. As the sun rose over the barren cliffs, Mira whispered, "Tomorrow, we start our journey. We'll find a place where no one can hurt you." Ayla's glow brightened, and Mira smiled. For the first time, she felt that this alien, chained and wounded, was not just a creature to study or fear. She was a friend, a companion, and a being, worthy of respect and protection. And in that quiet dawn, on the edge of a barren cliff, the bond between human and alien grew stronger, a bond that would guide them through danger, hope, and the unknown challenges ahead. The first rays of the sun broke over the barren cliffs, casting long shadows across the rocky terrain. Mira sat in silence, watching Ayla stretch her arms, the chains now removed. The alien's golden glow pulsed gently, reflecting her quiet strength. Mira could see the determination in her eyes. It was clear Ayla was ready to move, ready to escape. "We need to leave before the humans come back," Mira whispered. Her heart pounded, not from fear, but from urgency. The soldiers would return. At first light to move Ayla to a research station. If they succeeded, there would be no chance to free her. Ayla tilted her head as if understanding every word. Mira could feel the alien's awareness and intelligence matching her own resolve. Together, they would find a way. Mira led the way down the jagged cliffs carefully. She knew the terrain was treacherous. One wrong step could send them tumbling into the canyon below. Ayla followed silently, graceful even on the uneven rocks. Mira marveled at her balance and precision. Despite the injuries from the crash, the alien moved with strength and confidence that humans could barely match. As they reached a narrow ledge overlooking the canyon, Mira paused. She glanced up, checking for any signs of the humans. The transport, ships were gone, and the temporary camp was quiet. Still, she knew they had little time. "Stay close," Mira whispered. "We have to move fast." They carefully made their way along the cliffside, each step measured and precise. Ayla's glow illuminated the path, soft but steady, casting light on the sharp rocks ahead. Mira felt a strange sense of comfort in that light, a reminder that they were not alone. Suddenly, a sharp screech echoed from above. Mira froze. The raven-like creatures had returned, circling high in the sky, their eyes glinting with intelligence. Mira's heart raced. She had no idea if they would attack again. Ayla did not hesitate. She raised her hand slightly, and her golden glow pulsed. The birds tilted in the air, uncertain. Mira watched in awe as Ayla's calm strength seemed to influence them. Slowly, the creatures backed away, retreating to distant cliffs. Mira realized once more that Ayla's power was extraordinary. "We can't waste time," Mira said, urgency in her voice. They moved quickly, descending a steep slope toward a narrow canyon. Mira led the way, careful to avoid loose rocks. Ayla followed, silent but alert, her glowing eyes scanning the surroundings. The canyon floor was rocky and uneven, but offered better cover than the exposed cliffs. Mira could see small alien creatures scuttling between rocks, and she kept her voice low to avoid drawing attention. Ayla's glow flickered softly, a silent signal that she understood. Hours passed as they navigated the canyon. Mira's legs ached, and her lungs burned from the climb, but she pressed on. Every sound in the canyon made her heart race. The distant cry of a predator, the flutter of wings, the faint hiss of wind. Yet Ayla remained calm, guiding her with quiet confidence. As they reached a narrow passage, Mira spotted movement ahead, shadows flitting between rocks. Her heart skipped a beat. Could it be the humans, or wild predators? Ayla stepped forward, her glow brightening. The shadows froze, sensing her presence. Mira watched as the creatures retreated, intimidated by the aliens' calm authority. She realized the aliens' power was not only physical, but commanding, a natural influence over living beings. Finally, they reached a small ledge overlooking a wider canyon, one that led to a hidden valley Mira had noticed on her maps. It was covered in thick alien flora, perfect for hiding. She turned to Ayla, who looked exhausted but determined. "This way," Mira whispered, pointing toward the valley. "We can rest there at least for a while." They descended carefully into the valley. The air was cooler, fresher, and filled with the faint hum of alien plants. Mira marveled at the strange flora, glowing faintly in the shadowed valley. Ayla paused occasionally, sensing the environment, her golden eyes reflecting the soft light of the plants. Mira finally allowed herself a small smile. "We're safe, at least for now." But she knew it was only temporary. The humans would not stop searching. She had to think of a way to keep Ayla hidden, away from the soldiers who feared what they did not understand. As they moved deeper into the valley, Mira set up a small resting spot behind a large rock formation. She placed water and food near Ayla, who consumed it carefully, conserving energy. Mira watched her, admiration growing. Despite everything, Ayla remained calm, intelligent, and aware. Mira could feel the aliens' trust in her, a bond that had formed quietly but powerfully over the past days. Mira sat beside her, exhausted but alert. "We need a plan," she whispered. "We can't just run forever. We need a place where they won't find you, a place they cannot reach." Ayla tilted, her head, and pulsed softly, as if acknowledging the plan. Mira felt a strange warmth in her chest. The alien understood her. More than that, she trusted her. This bond gave Mira courage. Together, they could face anything. Hours turned into night. The valley was quiet, save for the occasional rustle of alien creatures and the soft hum of plants. Mira and Ayla rested, but Mira's mind never stopped. She thought of escape routes, hidden paths, and places to hide. She also thought of the humans and their fear. They did not understand Ayla's intelligence or power, and that ignorance made them dangerous. Mira realized that helping Ayla was not only about freeing her from chains, it was about proving that courage, intelligence, and trust could bridge worlds. As she watched Ayla's soft glow in the moonlight, Mira whispered, "Tomorrow, we start planning. Together we'll find a way to keep you safe. I promise." Ayla pulsed in response, a quiet reassurance. Mira felt a sense of hope she had not known before. Despite the dangers, the cliffs, and the humans searching for them, she knew one thing, with certainty. They were stronger together, and in that hidden valley, under the alien stars, Mira and Ayla prepared for the challenges ahead. The escape was only the beginning. Together they would face whatever came next: danger, discovery, and the unknown wonders of the planet itself. The hidden valley stretched out before Mira and Ayla, bathed in the soft glow of alien plants. The air was cooler here, scented with a strange mix of minerals and sweet-smelling flora. Mira had never seen anything like it. Thick vines wound around, crystalline trees, their leaves shimmering faintly in shades of blue and green. Tiny creatures darted between the plants, glowing faintly like living lanterns. Mira marveled at the sight. This is incredible," she whispered. Ayla's golden glow pulsed in response, as if approving her words. Mira realized that Ayla had led her to a safe place, one that humans had never discovered, hidden from their technology and curiosity. They moved cautiously through the valley, careful not to disturb the strange creatures. Ayla's steps were deliberate, graceful, and silent, a perfect guide through the alien landscape. Mira followed closely, trying to take in every detail. She could see why Ayla trusted her. It was not just courage, but careful observation that kept them safe. After a while, they reached a large stone structure partially hidden by vines. The surface of the stone was smooth, carved with intricate patterns that Mira did not recognize. Strange symbols glowed faintly along the walls, pulsing in rhythm with Ayla's light. This must be the sanctuary, Mira whispered. She had read about ancient alien structures on other planets, but nothing had prepared her for this. The building radiated a sense of calm and power, as if it had been waiting for someone like Ayla. Ayla stepped forward, placing her hands on the wall. The symbols brightened, responding to her touch. Mira watched in awe as a doorway slowly opened, revealing a chamber filled with soft light. The inside smelled of earth and life, and strange plants grew along the walls, glowing with their own energy. Mira stepped inside cautiously, careful not to disturb the sanctuary. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Ayla followed her, moving gracefully. The alien's glow mingled with the light of the plants, creating a scene that felt both magical and alive. The sanctuary was more than just a hiding place. Mira could feel the energy in the air, a quiet hum that seemed to connect every plant, every crystal, every stone. Ayla moved to the center of the chamber and lay down on a soft patch of glowing moss. Mira watched as the alien's wounds slowly began to heal, the light from her body interacting with the sanctuary's energy. Mira felt a sense of wonder. She realized that the sanctuary was not only safe, it was alive. It responded to Ayla, aiding her recovery and protecting her from harm. She understood why Ayla had led her here. This place was a gift, a shelter that humans could never discover on their own. Hours passed. Mira explored carefully, documenting everything she could remember. She touched the walls, feeling the smooth carvings, and listened to the hum of energy that filled the air. Every detail seemed to pulse with life, as if the sanctuary itself was aware of her presence. As night fell, Mira and Ayla settled in the sanctuary. Mira sat beside her, exhausted but alert. She watched the alien closely, fascinated by her calm and intelligence. Ayla's glow pulsed softly in the darkness, a rhythm that seemed almost like breathing. Mira whispered, "We need to stay here until we figure out what to do next. The humans will come looking, but they won't find this place. Not easily." Ayla tilted her head in acknowledgement, a silent agreement. Mira spent the night thinking about their next steps. She knew the humans would not give up. They were determined, trained, and armed. But she also knew that Ayla was extraordinary, far beyond what the humans could understand. With the sanctuary's protection, she felt a spark of hope. They had a chance. At dawn, Mira explored further into the sanctuary. She discovered small pools of clear water, strange plants with healing properties, and crystals that seemed to store energy. The more she saw, the more she realized that this was a place of knowledge and power, left behind by an ancient civilization. Ayla's presence activated it in ways Mira could barely comprehend. The alien moved beside her, touching the crystals with delicate fingers. The stones pulsed with light, responding to Ayla's touch. Mira felt a sense of awe. Ayla was not only intelligent, she was in harmony with this world, connected to it in a way humans had never learned. Mira thought about the humans again. They would never understand. They would try to control, to study, to dominate. But here, in the sanctuary, Ayla was free. She could heal, learn, and grow. Mira realized that her mission had changed. She was no longer just an explorer. She was a protector, a friend, and a guardian of this alien life. As they rested, Mira noticed subtle movements in the sanctuary. Tiny creatures scuttled along the walls, glowing faintly. Plants swayed even without wind, responding to Ayla's energy. Mira realized that the sanctuary was alive in ways she had never imagined. It was a place of harmony, a refuge for beings like Ayla. Hours passed in quiet observation. Mira spoke softly, telling Ayla about Earth, her life, and her hopes. Ayla listened, glowing softly, sometimes tilting her head or pulsing in response. Mira felt a connection growing stronger, a silent communication that needed no words. Suddenly, a faint sound echoed from outside the sanctuary. A distant drone, almost. Imperceptible. Mira froze. The humans were searching. They were getting closer. She looked at Ayla, who remained calm, glowing softly in the dim light. Mira realized that the sanctuary was not just a safe place. It was a strategic advantage. Here, they could plan, hide, and protect themselves. The humans might have technology, but they did not understand this world, this energy, or the alien within it. "We can't stay hidden forever," Mira whispered. "But we can stay safe long enough to figure out a plan." Ayla pulsed in response, her glow steady and reassuring. Mira spent the next hours mapping the sanctuary, learning its secrets, and observing Ayla. She realized that helping the alien was more than a moral choice. It was a responsibility. Ayla's intelligence, power, and calm strength demanded respect, and Mira knew she could not fail. By nightfall, Mira and Ayla had settled in the sanctuary's main chamber. Mira lay against a glowing moss wall, exhausted but alert. Ayla rested. Beside her, her glow illuminating the room. Mira felt a deep sense of hope. They were safe, at least for now, and together they could face whatever came next. The hidden sanctuary was more than a refuge. It was a place of learning, healing, and connection. Mira realized that this was only the beginning. With Ayla by her side, she would find a way to protect her, understand her, and show the humans that courage, trust, and empathy could triumph over fear and ignorance. And in that quiet, glowing sanctuary, Mira and Ayla prepared for the challenges. Ahead, ready to face danger, discovery, and the unknown wonders of the planet together. The hidden sanctuary was quiet, glowing softly under the alien moonlight. Mira and Ayla had spent days exploring its secrets, discovering the strange energy that pulsed through the walls, the moss, and the glowing crystals. Ayla had begun to regain her strength, and Mira felt a sense of hope she hadn't experienced since arriving on the planet. But that hope was about to be tested. A faint hum in the distance reached Mira's ears, barely audible over the sanctuary's quiet energy. She froze, straining to listen. The sound grew louder, mechanical and precise. A human patrol. The Colonial Security Division had not given up. They were searching for Ayla, determined to capture her again. Mira's heart raced. "They're close," she whispered, her voice trembling. Ayla's golden glow brightened slightly, pulsing faster as if aware of the approaching threat. Mira realized the alien could sense them long before she could. "They'll never understand you," Mira said softly, almost to herself. "But we won't let them hurt you." Ayla tilted her head, glowing warmly, as if acknowledging the promise. Mira quickly led Ayla to the innermost chamber of the sanctuary, a space filled with thick moss and towering crystals. The energy here was strong, almost like a shield, and Mira hoped it could protect them. She carefully placed small, reflective devices she had brought from her ship, hoping to confuse any tracking equipment. Minutes passed, each one stretching unbearably. The hum outside grew louder, closer, punctuated by the distant voices of human soldiers. Mira crouched beside Ayla, holding her hand gently. "Stay calm," she whispered. "We'll get through this." The first soldiers appeared at the edge of the sanctuary, scanning the valley with glowing scanners. Mira held her breath, watching as their lights flickered across the alien plants. Ayla remained calm, her glow steady. Mira could see the power emanating from her, subtle but undeniable, affecting the environment around them. One soldier moved closer to the chamber's entrance, shining a bright light. Mira quickly raised a reflective device, redirecting the beam toward the crystals. The light scattered, confusing the scanner. The soldier frowned, signaling to others, but the sanctuary's natural energy and Ayla's presence made it difficult for them to pinpoint their location. Mira realized that this was more than luck. Ayla's connection to the sanctuary gave them an advantage that humans could not overcome with technology alone. Mira felt a surge of pride and hope. They had a chance, if they stayed calm and worked together. Hours passed as the soldiers combed the valley, their scanners sweeping every corner. Mira and Ayla remained hidden, communicating silently through gestures and pulses of light. Mira was amazed at how intelligent and aware Ayla was. Every move she made, every subtle gesture seemed to anticipate what Mira would do next. Finally, the soldiers began to retreat, frustrated by their inability to locate the alien. Mira exhaled slowly, her body trembling with relief. Ayla's glow softened, and she moved closer to Mira, as if offering reassurance. "We're safe for now," Mira whispered. "But we can't stay here forever. They'll come back." Ayla pulsed gently in response, acknowledging the truth. Mira spent the rest of the night planning. She examined the sanctuary carefully, noting hidden passages, safe routes, and places where they could hide if the humans returned. She realized that they had an advantage most humans would never understand: intelligence, trust, and courage. At dawn, Mira and Ayla explored a narrow tunnel leading deeper into the sanctuary. The walls were lined with glowing moss, and small crystals emitted faint pulses of energy. Mira marveled at the beauty and safety of the place. Here, they were not only hidden, they were protected. Suddenly, a low growl echoed from the tunnel. Mira froze, her heart pounding. Ayla's glow brightened, and she stepped in front of Mira, her posture alert but calm. From the shadows emerged a large alien creature, sleek and wolf-like, its eyes glowing faintly. Mira instinctively stepped back, but Ayla did not flinch. The creature sniffed the air, then stepped closer to Ayla. Mira held her breath. The alien did not attack. Instead, it circled Ayla once, then lay down near the crystals, as if acknowledging her presence. Mira realized the creature recognized Ayla's power and calm authority. "This place, it's alive," Mira whispered. "And it's protecting you." Ayla pulsed in agreement. Mira felt a deep sense of wonder. The sanctuary was not just a hiding place. It was a living ally, responding to Ayla's presence and protecting them from danger. For hours, Mira and Ayla explored deeper into the sanctuary. They found chambers filled with strange plants, crystals, and glowing water pools. Mira documented everything carefully, knowing that humans would never understand this world. But more importantly, she realized that the sanctuary was teaching her something about trust, courage, and the strength of living beings beyond human comprehension. As night fell, the distant hum of human patrols returned. Mira crouched beside Ayla, whispering, "We have to be ready. They won't stop searching." Ayla's glow brightened, and Mira felt a wave of reassurance. They were not helpless. They had each other, and they had the sanctuary. Suddenly, a faint shimmer appeared at the edge of the chamber. Mira and Ayla froze. The glow grew brighter, forming a path toward another hidden exit. Mira realized the sanctuary itself was guiding them, showing a route that the humans could not find. "This is our chance," Mira whispered. "If we move carefully, we can stay ahead of them." Ayla pulsed rapidly, as if agreeing. Together, they prepared to leave the inner chamber, moving silently through the sanctuary's secret paths. The humans' voices echoed faintly outside, but Mira felt a surge of confidence. They had survived the cliffs, the ravens, and the patrols. With Ayla's power and the sanctuary's protection, they could continue. They were not just running. They were strategizing, learning, and growing stronger. Mira looked at Ayla, her golden eyes glowing softly. "We've come this far," she whispered. "We can go further. We can survive. And we can protect you." Ayla pulsed. and Mira felt the silent bond between them grow stronger than ever. The humans might return, the dangers might increase. But Mira knew one thing: with courage, intelligence, and trust, they could face any challenge. And together, they would prove that hope and strength could overcome fear and ignorance, no matter how powerful their enemies appeared. In the hidden sanctuary under the alien stars, Mira and Ayla prepared for the next step of their journey. They were not alone. They had each other, and they had a home that no human could destroy. And in that quiet, glowing chamber, they made a silent vow. No force, no fear, and no human pursuit would separate them. Together, they would survive, explore, and uncover the mysteries of the planet, undaunted and unstoppable. The hidden sanctuary was quiet, bathed in the soft glow of alien crystals. Mira and Ayla had spent days planning, exploring, and learning to move silently through its twisting corridors. The humans were still searching, but they had no idea where the alien had gone. The sanctuary had become their refuge, a place of safety and strength. But Mira knew this peace would not last. The humans would not give up. They were determined, trained, and persistent. She could feel it in the faint hum of their scanners in the distance. The time had come to face the challenge. "We have to be ready," Mira whispered to Ayla. "They'll come closer soon. We can't run forever." Ayla pulsed her golden glow, steady and reassuring. Mira felt a wave of courage. Together, they were stronger than fear, stronger than any human technology. Hours later, the first patrol approached. Mira crouched beside Ayla, hidden behind glowing moss. The soldiers' scanners swept the sanctuary, but the crystals and alien energy scattered their signals. Mira held her breath as the patrol passed, careful to remain silent. Ayla's glow responded in subtle pulses, guiding Mira to safer spots within the sanctuary. The humans' frustration grew. They could not detect Ayla. They could not anticipate the paths she took. Mira realized that their bond, the silent understanding between human and alien, was their greatest advantage. Intelligence, courage, and trust gave them power that no weapon could match. Suddenly, a louder sound echoed through the valley. The main human team had arrived, equipped with advanced scanners and search drones. Mira's heart pounded. She knew they had little time. "We need to move to the inner chamber," Mira whispered. "It's stronger, safer, and the sanctuary's energy is concentrated there. It will protect us better." Ayla pulsed her glow in agreement. They moved quickly but carefully, avoiding the drone's lights and the human team's footsteps. The sanctuary seemed to respond to their movements, the moss and crystals shifting slightly to obscure their path. Mira marveled at the intelligence of the place. It was alive, protective, and in harmony with Ayla. When they reached the inner chamber, Mira set up reflective devices to confuse scanners, while Ayla activated the sanctuary's energy. The glow brightened, flowing along the walls and crystals. Mira could feel a shield forming around them, subtle but powerful. The humans entered the outer sanctuary, scanning and searching. One soldier spotted the light from the inner chamber and raised a signal. Mira's pulse raced, but Ayla did not panic. She stepped forward, her glow brightening like a beacon of calm strength. The humans hesitated. Their scanners began to malfunction as the sanctuary's energy interacted with Ayla's power. Mira watched as the soldiers grew confused, their movements uncertain. Ayla's presence, combined with the sanctuary's protective energy, created a barrier no human could penetrate. Mira felt a surge of pride. This was what she had hoped for. A moment where courage, intelligence, and trust could overcome fear and aggression. Ayla was not just surviving, she was thriving, showing humans that strength could come from understanding and calm determination, not just weapons. The soldiers tried to approach, but the sanctuary's energy subtly shifted the path, creating obstacles and illusions. Mira and Ayla moved silently through the inner chamber, guided by the living energy of the sanctuary. The humans could not follow. They were clever, but they were limited by their fear and ignorance. Hours passed as Mira and Ayla carefully navigated the sanctuary, moving to safer areas and observing the humans' frustration. Mira realized that this was more than an escape. It was a lesson. The humans would learn, even if slowly, that power and strength were not always about force. Finally, the humans began to retreat, exhausted and confused. Mira and Ayla had survived. They had outsmarted them, relying on intelligence, courage, and a deep understanding of each other and the sanctuary. Mira exhaled, relief flooding her body. "We did it," she whispered. Ayla pulsed softly, almost like a smile. Mira felt a deep connection, stronger than any bond she had ever known. Together, they had faced fear, danger, and human misunderstanding, and they had won. Mira looked around the sanctuary. The glowing crystals, the living moss, and the protective energy were more than a refuge. They were a symbol of hope. Intelligence, trust, and courage could overcome fear, cruelty, and ignorance. Ayla was living proof. Over the next days, Mira and Ayla explored deeper into the sanctuary. They discovered pools of glowing water, plants with healing properties, and chambers filled with ancient knowledge. Mira realized that humans might never understand this world fully, but she did. She and Ayla had formed a partnership built on respect, trust, and understanding. One evening, as the alien sun set over the cliffs, Mira sat beside Ayla. The golden glow of the alien mixed with the soft light of the sanctuary, creating a scene of perfect calm. Mira whispered, "We've survived everything so far. Whatever comes next, we face it together." Ayla pulsed brightly, affirming the promise. Mira smiled. She had never felt such hope and strength. This alien, once chained and wounded, was now free, powerful, and in harmony with the world. And together, they were unstoppable. The humans might return, new dangers might emerge, but Mira and Ayla had learned something powerful. Courage was more than strength. Intelligence was more. Then knowledge and trust could overcome any fear. They had formed a bond that no force could break, a bond that would guide them through the unknown challenges of the planet. As night fell, Mira and Ayla gazed out over the cliffs, the glowing sanctuary behind them. The alien stars reflected in the pools and crystals, creating a world that seemed alive with possibility. Mira knew that their journey was far from over, but they were ready. Together, they would explore the planet, uncover its secrets, and protect its wonders. They would face challenges, encounter new beings, and continue to grow stronger. And through it all, their bond, built on courage, intelligence, and trust, would remain unbroken. In the quiet of the sanctuary, Mira whispered once more, "We've come so far, and we're just beginning." Ayla pulsed gently as if agreeing. Mira smiled, feeling a deep sense of peace. The cliffs, the hidden sanctuary, and the glowing alien world stretched before them, filled with mystery, danger, and wonder. And together, human and alien, they would face it all, undaunted, united, and unstoppable. The stars above shone brightly, as if celebrating their courage. And in that moment, Mira understood the truth of what they had achieved. Hope, intelligence, and trust could triumph over fear and oppression, no matter how impossible it seemed. Together, they were free. Together, they were powerful. Together, they were unstoppable.